Today, we're going to talk about leads and how do you get more leads? And I'm actually going to walk you through the 4 ways that you can get more leads. And we're also going to talk about what a lead is or isn't so that you can get more leads. This is a very important piece because if you don't have leads, you don't have a business, right? Like if you don't actually have people finding you, then you don't have anyone who can pay you. And so you don't have a business, which is why leads are so important. And in my core belief, like everything is downstream from lead generation. And so growing your leads, becoming more findable is the very thing that can take your business from where it's at to actually hitting the revenue goals that you are trying to hit. Whether you're trying to get to 6 figures, 7 figures, 8, 9, 10, wherever you're trying to get with your business, when you can become more findable and get more leads, your business will grow. So let's talk about leads and everything that's inside and what it is and isn't. But first, let's also talk about how you are going to learn more about leads, more about marketing, and more about what it takes for you to scale your business to your goals at the Marketing Matters Summit. So I want to invite you to be in this room with hundreds of other female entrepreneurs just like you who are not playing around in their business. They're serious, they're going all in, and they know that on the other side of them becoming findable is impact and changing one life at a time and changing the lives that you and uniquely you were created and positioned to serve. So I want to invite you to be in the Marketing Matters Summit in January of 2025. And you can go to ashleybrock.com/summit or click on the link below this video or podcast episode to grab your spot. It's going to sell out, even if it has already. At least get on the wait list for the following year because we're going to keep doing this year after year after year. And I can't wait to see you there. It's going to be so special. I'm so excited just to watch you transform over those few days. I was thinking about how the one core element that has changed my life and my business is simply getting in the right rooms. And for the rest of my life, I will continue to put myself in rooms with people I don't know who are doing really cool things so that I can learn from what they're doing. So if there's anything I've learned in 2024, it's pay people to tell you what you don't know. So I am just such a big advocate of that. So I actually had an epiphany at the last event I went to at Myron Golden's event. So I was sitting there and I had one thing that I took away, and that one thing is changed my life. And like a few things I learned there have like changed the trajectory of my business. So I cannot advocate enough for being in the right room with the right people. So let's talk about what a lead is and also what a lead isn't. So we hear leads all the time. So in my opinion, a lead is anyone who can benefit from your product or service who is willing to offer their contact information to you. So a lead is contactable. A lead is contactable. And so that contact information, that could be their Instagram handle, it could be their YouTube channel, it could be their phone number, their email, their address, their name. It can't just be their name because you can't contact them. There has to be a method with which you can contact them or it is not a lead. So a lead is contactable. And I want you to notice that I did not say a qualified lead because there are leads and there are qualified leads and there are not qualified leads. And do you want to know the secret to getting 100% of your leads to be qualified? There isn't one. Stop. If you got your hopes up just now and you were like 100% qualified, that is not a thing. Okay, so I want to be super clear. You can get a bunch of qualified leads, but getting 100% of anything, if anyone ever says to you and you see a marketing or an ad, it's like, I can guarantee with 100% certainty it's the exact right people, I would question that. Okay, I would put on anytime you hear an absolute, I would get curious and also probably concerned. So you will not get 100% qualified leads. I absolutely, from my experience and my clients' experience, because we've had hundreds of business owners in the Marketing Matters program, I can say for certainty, we can get to a place over time where the majority of your leads are qualified. And you will also have unqualified leads. And if you spend your time and energy frustrating and moping and getting so angry and distracted by the few leads that are not quality, you will not get to a place where the majority of your leads are. So you have to just sit down and say, okay, I'm going to market my business, and part of marketing my business is that some of them will not be qualified, and that's okay. So if you come to me and say, hey, Ashley, none of them are the right people, the first thing I'm going to ask you is, are you sure? How curious have you been? How much have you followed up? Because one of my favorite things that my clients do, and if you did this and you're listening, I want you to know I still love you. I'm just calling you out because I care about you and your success. And sometimes I get messages that are like, Ashley, they've ghosted me. And I'm like, can you please define ghosted? And it's when someone's talking to you and then like they just stop. And I'm like, no, 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 no. They ghosting you. I think you might be confusing ghosting with people being busy. Like people are busy and you have an opportunity to follow up because what did the sales girls taught me? The sales girls have taught me that sales is a process, not an event. And so if you're like, oh, there was an event and they did not respond instantaneously, they have since ghosted me. That is not always true. In fact, let me prove it to you. Okay. Y'all know that the program that I use that has helped me burn my baby fat, it is Faster Way. There's a link below where you can learn more about Faster Way and working with Jill. She's my coach. And so Jill ran ads for her. She runs it for her 6-week program, which is what really sold me on this program. It changed my life. And I don't even, that's a separate episode. I'm going to have Jill on the podcast. We'll talk all about it. So I'm not going to do that now. But Jill ran ads for her Faster Way round and for this like 5-day belly blast that she did. And if Jill didn't just have over 40 people in her belly blast, and for those of you who have no context for this, that's a lot of people. 40 people for this 5-day challenge is a lot. And I asked her, I was like, was it from ads? And she was like, yeah. And honestly, it was mostly from past ads. I'm like, how is that possible? And she's like, well, I followed up and I followed up and I followed up and I followed up and I followed up because Jill doesn't sit around and say, people have ghosted me. Jill says, these are leads. Leads are leads. They gave me their contact information and I ain't gonna stop. You know why? Because she believes in what she has to offer so much that she doesn't even spend time wasting sending me a message saying people are ghosting me. She's just like, I'm gonna follow up instead. Like she follows up with everyone over and over and over and over and over again. And there was this stat where it said that most people respond or follow up or get action and traction on the 7th touch point and beyond. And that it was like 95% of people don't make it to the follow up to the 7th. So if you think about it, there's that percentage of people who only a very small percentage of people are actually getting the sale because most people follow up once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and they can't tolerate any more pain, or they just assume people don't want it instead of assuming that they're busy, or they assume, yeah, that people can't pay for it. Let's just write it off. I'm telling you right now, people are going to tell you that they can't afford something. People are going to tell you they're busy. And what they're really saying is, I would rather keep my money than give it to you. And do you know why? It's because they don't see the value yet. If you haven't been able to have a conversation because they're like, how much is it immediately? Let's just be honest. I already talked about how some people are not qualified leads. Some people are just, they don't want to invest in themselves. They don't want to do the work. They just want the easy button. They're not willing to change anything. They kind of just want to complain. And if you're listening to this, that's probably not you because that's not how we roll up in here in the Marketing Matters world. We are women who are resilient. We see the vision. We know the impact. We go all in. We know that work either works for us or it works on us. We know every education costs something. We know that businesses don't exist that don't invest in themselves. We think that's crazy. We know that the payoff is on the other side of our pay in. Like we know this. You know this. So yes, some are not going to be qualified and keep following up. And some people are going to tell you they don't have money or they don't have the time. And really what they're really saying is, I don't see the value yet. And that's on you. In fact, go read the book Extreme Ownership, please. It is on you to communicate that value. It's on you to stay top of mind. That's why a lot of what I teach is how can you remind? It's the find, remind, and bind strategy. That framework that shows you the path to being findable, being super remindable, and then binding. Find, remind, bind. Because a lot of people, they're probably exposed to you, but you're not staying top of mind enough. And what they're really trying to see is, how long is she going to keep following up with me? Does she believe in it that much that she would legit follow up the seventh time? I mean, I don't have an exact number that you should give up, but if someone is top of mind, there's someone who actually comes to mind right now who I felt like temporarily abandoned the conversation. Did she ghost me? I don't know what I would call that. She abandoned the conversation. She didn't see the value yet. And honestly, you know what I really think? I think that she wasn't at a place yet where she believed in herself enough that she could actually do this and get the result. We've all been there. We've all questioned ourselves for a minute and been like, hey, can I even do this? Am I even smart enough for this? Can I even learn this? And it was on me to pour belief and the payoff in her brain. So it was so crystal clear that she knew without a doubt that she could do this. And now she already got a sale from her remarketing on the very first try. She's an incredible business that more people are about to find. Okay, so some people are telling you that it's money, telling you it's other things when really they just don't see the value yet. Okay, so I say this because so many of my clients get leads, and it's very, very easy and comfortable to look for everything else to blame except yourself on why they're not buying. Like it's like, oh, it was just the marketing. Oh, it was just the lead. Oh, it's just them. It's like, but also like what is your role? What is your role in selling the value? What is your role in following up? Sometimes it's like, oh, they didn't buy. It's like, could you imagine? Could you imagine a world where you get a bunch of leads in and you follow up with them 1 week later, 1 month later, 3 months later, 6 months later, 8 months later, 9 months later, 1 year later? Could you imagine if you nonstop generated leads and nonstop followed up for a year? Could you imagine where you'd be if you just didn't stop? Could you imagine where we'd all be if we just didn't stop when it got hard? Okay, I could go on a whole rampage. I'm going to go back to leads. Let's bring it back to leads. So a lead is someone who gives you their contact information. One thing I want you to think about is there are qualified and unqualified leads, but there are also leads that aren't qualified that you could qualify. And how would you do that? How would you get someone to be an unqualified lead and actually move over into the bucket of actually a qualified lead? What you would do is you would bring to light new information, ideas, and perspective that they have never considered before. Truly. So what does that look like? Let me share an example with you. There's a woman that I'm talking to right now about learning marketing skills, and she's a perfect fit. And the reason I say that is because she has a very successful real estate business. She is growing a team. She has leadership skills. She has great communication skills. And again, she's really good at selling homes. Like she's in the top of her industry. And I'm like, okay, I know that she is perfect. And in the last week, I've had someone who's a real estate agent in Texas with a lead from their Google ads to list their $1 million home. So I've worked with real estate agents. Now, what I can say is not every real estate agent I've worked with has gotten results. And the reason that that's the case is because life got busy and they did not go all in and implement consistently over time. Listen, life happens and they may come back to the course and do it and it kills it. But the only people that marketing doesn't work for are people that don't market or people that stop marketing. Right. So what I can say is the people that literally don't stop, they get leads and they ultimately get this $1 million listing. And so I know that this woman is the right person. And so, and it's like her personality and her drive, her passion, and she's got it. Okay. So she is in this place where it's like, listen, things are hard right now. Like she has a young child, she's helping with homework, and her child, has a diagnosis of ADD or ADHD. I don't know if it's her for her child, but I know that's hard either way. And so she's going through some things. And my thought process, like what comes into my brain initially on how to take it, on how to like approach that conversation is, in my opinion and experience, everything's easier when you're findable. Homework, cleaning the house, changing diapers, having to reschedule appointments, dropping everything to go be somewhere with your kids, you planning anything in life that's hard. Like, I'm going to be honest, it's a little bit lighter when you're findable. It's a little bit lighter when money stress is not in the back of your mind. And and I know money stress is one of the worst stresses. It's like relationship stress and money stress. Can't nothing stress you out more than your relationship being in the gutter or your finances stressing you the heck out. And so what I found is when people are finding you and your business is growing and money is alleviated and removed from the equation on like how stressed you are about it, it's like, whew, You're like, you have this like pent up looming stress when you have money or relationship stress. And honestly, that stress bleeds into you and everybody else you interact with, including your kids and your relationships. When you have money stress, it bleeds into your relationships, doesn't it? And so when money can be something that you're like, hey, money is abundant, impact is abundant, the business is growing, things are good. I've told you, it's just like you can breathe. You're like, okay, 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 okay. This is good. And like you get to offer a more present version because you're not stressing about money in the back of your mind while you're talking to your kid about their third grade homework. And so my opinion is that everything's easier when you're findable. So if you are going through challenging things, that's why marketing skills can be so empowering because you can be findable. People can find you and want to work with you without you having to chase them down or stress about where your next client is coming from. And so my ultimate like path to get there is from building a marketing machine. That's what what I share about, right? Is how can you build this machine? And what you and I both know about a machine is it has multiple parts. And can you imagine? I was thinking about this today. Can you imagine the people who were creating a car, a dishwasher, a washing machine, a RoboVac, even like what's that car that my son loves? Excavator. Excavator. Can you imagine the people who are trying to build the excavator and all these different machines and how like someone somewhere had to be so stinking resilient? Like they had to be like, oh, I keep trying this washing machine and water's going everywhere and I'm about to get electrocuted because there's an outlet, but then there's water and you can't mix them. How are they going to go together? Or they think they got the washing machine figured out and then the clothes stink, or they like it floods, or it's just like there's so many problems that had to go on. And we just think from the outside, we're like, oh, like creating a washing machine is simple. It's this part, this part, this part. And like somewhere at some time, someone was building the first washing machine. And they had to be like, I know this can work. I really don't want to wash my clothes in the sink anymore. They're like, there's got to be a better way. Someone thought that, and someone did not give up. They were like, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure out the robo vacuum. I'm going to figure out how it can be a mop and, vacuum at the same time. Like someone for all these machines that we use in our life had to get frustrated and had to keep going. And now the impact of building a machine that works so well that automatically does something. It's crazy. Like I can crank my car and it's automatically going to turn on and allow me to get to where I need to go with ease and in style. It's amazing. That's what you can create with your marketing machine. That is what's available to you, is having something that is automatic that you can actually turn on. Now, I have some clients right now and their marketing machine is rolling. They don't look at their machine. It's like a washing machine. You click on and step away. Bye-bye, honey. You come back and it's clean. Such a great feeling. Some clients, they are in the middle of like getting electrocuted with their washing machine, trying to get the water to not touch the electrical outlet, and it's not draining right, and the buttons aren't working, and they're frustrated. And they're like, how long should I like give this? I'm like, as long as it takes. Now we have strategies, right? And we get there sooner with feedback as long as you don't stop. Like the clients in my mastermind, I feel like they have the best wins because they're like, we're talking every day. We're strategizing. And so it is possible, but that is the prerequisite to building something new, a machine in particular, for the first time. The prerequisite is confusion, frustration, and like going through those challenges of how to fix it. And what we know is having a washing machine and a car and a robo vacuum are stinking awesome. So awesome. The payoff's great. And it's impacting the whole world. The time that we get back to be with our kids, to do whatever else that we love is so great because someone spent time building a machine. Can I get an amen? Okay. So that is my experience, is that this marketing machine is worth it. And I think about my client, Laura. She is an attorney, and she messaged me last week, and she turned on her Google ads. And in her first month with her Google ads, her phone rang so much that she had an $82,000 month. And she voice memoed me this morning. I was like, my only regret is that you weren't here 15 years ago when I started this. She's like, where have you been? Like, could you imagine like the first person that used a washing machine? They were like, where has this been? Holy cow, how much time have I wasted manually washing my clothes? I remember so my mom was married to my dad, and then they got divorced in first grade. And then my mom got remarried. And while she was engaged to her second husband. She's with her third husband now. So I'm just going back in history. So second husband, it was my stepdad for a little while. A family tree is so confusing. So second husband, right? And so we're building this house. And in the meantime, to save money, we were living in a trailer. And the trailer in the back half, I feel like the air conditioning unit that we had plugged into my room like weighed down that side of the trailer a little bit, and like the back half was on some stilts. And so if you walked into the attic part, you would like trip going up the stairs. Okay. It was just kind of falling apart, but it was perfect. We saved money. We were supposed to be in there for like 2 or 3 months, and it ended up being a year. No problem. I loved it. I was a kid. It had the side yard. I mean, it was awesome. What wasn't awesome is there wasn't a dishwasher. So when I had, it's so weird to say, when I had step siblings, God, this tree. When I had step siblings, I had a stepbrother and had a stepsister at the time, and we were in middle school. And so after we would eat, we would like take turns on who was going to like wash the dishes and dry the dishes. And it just seems so manual. And I'll never forget, like I would just like eat and I wouldn't even enjoy my meal because I knew I'd have to clean it later. Like I became such an advocate of paper plates. I'm like, do we have to use the real ones? Because it's just so much every day washing dishes. Because obviously the parents would buy the food and cook the food. The least we could do as the kids was hold up our end and wash it. But golly, I've never now I promise I don't know when this will go away, but every night when I start my dishwasher, I think about how thankful I am to have this machine that someone worked really hard on to figure out so that I don't have to manually wash dishes. And so, because I'm scarred from the year of washing dishes every day. And not scarred, but like, hey, listen, you're probably following up with leads manually. You're probably doing some manual networking, trying to get leads when really you could create a marketing machine that can be automatic. And all you're going to do is be like Laura, who says, man, I wish this was here sooner. Me too. Me too. So I want you to think about how you could, like Laura couldn't afford, like Laura having an $82,000 month in your business, like one of the best, her best month in business. I think about how much it cost her to not have this machine, you know? And so how much is it costing you to not have a marketing machine in your business, right? Okay, let's talk more about leads, the 4 ways you can get leads. But before we do that, what I also want to share with you is here's how to not get more leads. Okay? Because I'm about to share with you the 4 ways you can get leads. Here's how to not get more leads. One way to not get more leads is to not market your business. Now, this is actually really interesting. The term marketing comes from the Latin word mercatus, 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 which means marketplace. And that term actually originated in ancient Rome, where the marketplace was a central location for people to gather and exchange goods and hold sales events. Literally, that's what it says. It was the marketplace. People would gather, they would exchange goods, and they would hold sales events. Marketing also uses what's called the marketing mix. I say this all the time, the marketing mix, and it's a part of the 4 Ps. And the 4 Ps of a marketing mix are product, price, place, and promotion. Product, price, place, and promotion. And so if you don't market your business, so what that would mean for you is if you have a product and you have a price, but you don't go to a place and you don't promote it, then you're not marketing. What you're doing is owning a thing. There's a difference between owning a thing and promoting a thing, right? So the term marketing comes from going to market, going to where people gather, going to where people exchange goods. If in today's world, hello, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, that is where people are promoting. That is the marketplace. If you're not going to the marketplace and promoting your product or service, or hiding your product or service behind a bushel, or putting all of your promotion into one bucket, aka posting organically on Instagram, and that's the only marketing you do for your business besides the cold messaging on Instagram, that is not marketing. That is sharing on one platform, going to the market and exchanging goods and holding sales events. That is the thing that you do when you're marketing. And so the only way to not be findable is to not market your business, because then you're not promoting and you're not going to a place where you can offer it. And the best way I can describe this would be like you having all the pieces for that bougie, high-end looking Pottery Barn side table that you know you want in your bedroom. You're like, gosh, it's beautiful. You saw it on Instagram. You're like, what a side table. Anybody else do that? It's just me. Um, and so you have all the pieces and they're all laid out on the floor and they're not numbered and there's no instructions. It's like you have all the pieces. You're just not doing anything with it and you don't know what to do. That is like having a product and a price without having a promotion and a place. Like you can't have all the pieces and not have the final step to actually put it all together because you can't get the result that you want without the other, right? You can't have the side table by your nightstand looking beautiful if you don't have instructions and you don't know what goes where and you don't even know what anything is. You just have a big mess. So you can't have one thing without the other. You can't have a product and a price without a place and promotion. That is marketing. All right. So now let's talk about 4 ways to get more leads. Okay. The first way is organic, obviously, posting organically. That's Instagram, that's TikTok, that's YouTube. It is creating content. Why do we create content? Well, it's super important when people find you from your ads, which is the engine of your marketing machine. When people find you from your ads, what's really important is they get to your page and there's stuff there that you have organic content. And it's not just that you're posting, it's actually that you're posting valuable content, something that helps them, something that builds a connection with them, something that helps them think about what you have to offer differently or shows how what you have to offer is different from everybody else or more valuable than everybody else. The perfect marriage is not just paid ads. That does control your speed for sure. You cannot guarantee anything with organic. You can guarantee things with paid because literally you're putting money and you're saying, I am signing up for this amount of exposure to this audience at this time. Like you guaranteed. Okay. But you can't guarantee that with organic. But what you can guarantee is that when people find you from paid and they see your organic value, that is going to collapse the time with which they trust you or don't trust you. That it can collapse that distrust, lead to more credibility. So organic content, how to get more leads, post organically, because you posting organically will allow more people to actually become a lead and want to follow you and want to be on your email list. So your organic content is, in my opinion, is like peanut butter and jelly. Unless you love like chewing on a dry piece of bread with peanut butter and going like it's like so dry and you're like, ugh. Unless you like that, what it's really like is having peanut butter with no jelly. It just like puts it all together. It's like, wow, I'm so glad I have both of these, right? So they go together really, really well. So the first way you can get more leads is to post organically. The second thing that you can do is run ads. So you can run ads on one strategy or sorry, on one platform or multiple platforms. What do I mean by platforms? I mean like Google or Pinterest or YouTube or TikTok or Snapchat, wherever. Is Snapchat still alive? I don't know. So wherever it is that you place your ads, you can actually target people that have engaged with you on any of those platforms. That's something that I teach you how to do so that no matter where your people are, there you are also. You know what I'm saying? So that the way that I teach that is through the find, remind, and bind strategy. I touched about it a little bit at the beginning of this episode, but ultimately what that means for you is people find you, then they're reminded about you, and then you can bind, which really just means close the sale. The third thing that you can do, so first is organic, one is paid ads. The third thing that you can do is you can spend time or money. And what I really mean by that is like physical, like time. Like you can go network, you can use your physical energy, like you can expend your time, or you could pay money. You could pay money to borrow somebody's audience. You could pay money to have a skill installed in your brain for the rest of time. And here's what I would recommend. I would recommend that you use your money to buy back your time. How can you buy back your time? Well, the more that you know, the more that you can do, right? Because if you knew better, you'd do better. I have learned so much by taking the money that I have made from my ads to pay someone else to teach me something I don't know so that I can use that. And that benefits me, but it really benefits the people that I work with. Because when Ashley is nonstop, and when you are nonstop investing in yourself, you're bringing new ideas and fresh content to the people that you get to serve every single day. So it's almost like they're getting to invest with you and also getting this other knowledge. So in my opinion, you taking time to install software in your brain so that you don't have to spend your physical time at networking and in-person events always, Because here's the thing, I'm really big on events. Hello, Marketing Matters Summit 2025. I was going to say, that you should be in the right rooms. And the reason I say that is because it has paid off exponentially for me and my clients. And so I believe in being in the right room. I also believe in being sane. And if you're trying to get in 10 different rooms a month or 3 different rooms a month, that's a lot of different rooms and physical and emotional tolling. I say find a few events that could transform your entire life and go there a few times throughout the year, and then have a marketing machine in place that doesn't require your physical time, although it does require your time up front. It doesn't require your physical energy to go out and go to conferences just to hope to get leads. There's a better way. So that's what I'm saying there. And then the fourth way that you can get leads, honestly, is to just do a really good job with the clients that you do get to serve. So do a really good job and offer real transformations, go all in, put the client first, and just care about these people that you get to work with and go the extra mile. Can I give you a good example of going the extra mile? So Kyle and I went to stay at the most immaculate place in Charleston. It was called Hotel Bennett. Oh my goodness. So we pull up, and Kyle's mom had given us a bottle of champagne to celebrate. And then we also had like I think a bottle of wine to celebrate, a white wine. And the white wine, when we arrived, exploded. It exploded everywhere. And we were like so sad. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, what kind of wine was it?" And we were like, "Well, it's just a really good one. It's fine. Don't worry about it." Well, within like 60 seconds, the bellman had grabbed our bags and was heading into the hotel. And so we got my purse and we're walking in, and a guy in a suit is like running up to me, and he's like, ma'am, hello. I saw that there was an explosion outside. I just wanted to offer you this in its place. And I'm like, who, how, how quickly did someone say, like someone's immediate reaction, literally their immediate reaction was, uh-oh, there's been a problem. Let's go fix it immediately. They're not expecting it. We're doing it anyway. I need a bottle of wine delivered in less than 30 seconds, cold, ready. It was white wine. Get it to, this is the couple. They're wearing a blue skirt and a green top. Give it to them when they walk in. The level of communication and proactivity and consideration that had to be done in such a short time span was outrageous. That is going above and beyond. And that is the approach that I pray that every one of my clients feels and experiences when we work together. And it's the feedback that I've received. And that's what I want you to do, is what do you not have to do, but you should do anyway, so that they get the best experience possible with working with you. That's how you get more leads. Because I cannot believe, like, that hotel, one of you are going to book it. You're going to be like, bougie hotel, you're saying my love language. And you're going to go look up Hotel Bennett, and you're going to go stay there and have a great experience because they did such a good job that now I'm sharing about it and they didn't pay me to. Now, I should talk to them about some sort of arrangement because I would do anything to go back there. It was beautiful. And so the way to get more leads is to just do a really good job in what you're doing. All right, I hope this was really helpful. We're going to talk more on this podcast about how to get more leads. And actually, one training I'm going to have coming up soon is about lead magnets. What is a lead magnet? How can you think about a lead magnet? How do you have a good lead magnet? Because a few of you have asked about lead magnets specifically. And I also want to let you know, if you have podcast topics, if you're listening to this podcast and every episode that's released, you're listening to it and you are like, hey, I would love for you to talk about this specific thing, please send me a message on Instagram or email Laura Beth at info@ashleybrock.com. and she will add it to our list of topics, because I would love to make sure that that you're listening to this podcast and you're getting the exact value that you're hoping for out of it. And I am open to any constructive or positive feedback. And please, please, if you are enjoying this and you're listening to this right now and you've enjoyed this podcast, I'm asking you out of the kindness of your heart, could you please leave a review? It would mean so much to us to just get your reviews and your feedback. It just takes just a second to leave this review on Spotify or on Apple, or if you're watching this on YouTube, I would love for you to hit subscribe and like and give me a comment on what you are getting the most value of. It means so much. Okay, I can't wait to see you on the next episode. We have a client win coming up on the next one. It's going to be really special. And don't forget, if you are not in line, ready to go at the Marketing Matters Summit, you can go to ashleybrock.com/summit or click the link below this podcast or YouTube video. I cannot wait to see you there, because what you know is you have to market your business, right? Go to a place people gather. Yes, you're going to learn marketing strategies, but what if you earn some new relationships that could change your life for the rest of your life? All right. I cannot wait to see you on the next episode.